Listen close. You are about to watch a shoot of Welcome to Pod Time. You need to prepare for what is about to come.
Hello, welcome to Pod Time, bitches. I am one of your hosts, Arlie. With me, I've got one of you. Want to introduce yourselves?
I am Casey.
All right, and
I'm Pat.
hi, brother.
Hi, brother.
We're so goddamn the same.
Yeah, that's why we are brothers.
We're happy and we're singing and we're white. Give me a high five. How was your guys' week? Anything exciting?
Nope.
Just another work week for
Nothing
all of
Nothing like
us.
this exciting to talk about. My wife and my son are back in town, so I'm excited about that. But I don't know if that'll excite anybody else.
If it's exciting for you, that's always good. Doesn't have to be exciting for everybody else.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, that's all that matters. All that matters is your happiness, bro.
You're pumped and you're going to
Thank
do
you.
some pumping. Yeah.
Yep, going to Vegas this weekend for her birthday.
Oh, nice. What do you guys have planned there?
Oh well, Clutch has a wrestling match, a wrestling show. We're gonna check that out. Then I think we're gonna go. To the top of the Strat and maybe do one of the rides. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that though, because it's not attached to the ground. Like I'm good with a high ride that's attached to the ground, but being attached to the top of the Strat, I don't know. Even that makes even me a little uneasy. But we're thinking about it. And then there's a comedy magic show I want to check out. I want to do a lot of stuff that's not just drinking and gambling because that's all I've ever done before. And she's not as into that either. So we got our own bottle of banana pudding cream moonshine, and we're going to check out some shows, stuff like that.
Right.
Sounds
on.
tasty, the banana cream pudding shine.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but she said it just tastes like candy. So we'll see.
He unfortunately passed away, but one of the people I wanted to go up on a Vegas trip for to see was the amazing Jonathan.
Oh,
Sounds familiar,
yeah.
but I'm not sure.
He's the comedy magician, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You might have seen his act. Like he's the one that would purposely do like really bad magic on purpose. And like would pretend to like drink Windex and like snort a big jug of Coke on stage, and he's hilarious.
I'll have to look him up. But he's passed now?
Yeah, a couple years ago, like his heart, if I remember correctly, like it was something like it wasn't pumping as much blood as a heart should. So like he would get like dizzy and weak quick. But that's all sad stuff.
He snorted too many jugs of Coke.
And Windex, all those bottles of Windex he drank.
Yeah.
That'll do it to you. I've got I've got a special. Like if you ever want to watch it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's good.
Sure.
I think once it starts going, it might like trigger a memory. Like, oh, I know who this is.
Okay. Yeah, probably. But yeah, I'll check it out.
And we've got a movie review this week. We've got your movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to jump into that? Do we want to do something else first?
No, I'm good with starting it off with the movie review. Okay, so this is our retro movie review. We did Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So this is like it's a comedy horror movie. It is kind of like somebody is doing a documentary about a supernatural killer who and his build up to his big night, the night that he's going to do all these kills. And I've seen the movie several times, and I still can't remember if he contacts her or if she contacts him. But yeah, so she's following him around. He's kind of going over the ins and outs of being a killer. Also, something interesting about this universe is that Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, they're all real. They're all real killers that exist, and they all carried out their crimes. So he is explaining this like it's a job. Like there has to be this pure evil counterbalance to all the pure and good that's in the world. So this is his job, is he's this killer. So he takes on the persona of a kid who got drowned whenever he was a kid, and it's X amount of time later, and now he's going to come back. And this is a ghost story that's going around the town. Teenagers are always camping out at his old farmhouse because it's like a haunted, a spooky story. And he's planning to make his reappearance on a certain night. He's got his girl picked out, and he's going to take these journalists on behind the scenes of how he puts it all together. Now, what were your guys' first impressions?
I loved the movie. This wasn't my first time seeing it, but the first time I did see it, I loved it. It was at the time like, I don't know if you would say like a unique idea, but like it was one of the first movies like that I've ever seen, where it's like a mockumentary almost, like just a horror comedy spoof document. And I thought it was funny with Freddy being a real person in that universe, that Robert Englund was in there as the doctor after him.
Mm-hmm.
A clear homage to Dr. Loomis.
Did you also notice at the very beginning, Kane Hodder is in it for a brief moment? He comes out onto the porch and somebody yells something at him, and he gives him a look and turns around and goes back into his house.
I did. Now this is
cool.
This is probably the first time I've watched it since like really, really getting into The Walking Dead. So when they went over to get that guy out, and they dug him up and opened the casket, and they opened it up, I was like, that's Herschel.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like a 180 of like his character from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He's just another.
What about you, Casey? What were your first impressions?
Well, the very first thing I thought of was Freaks and Geeks immediately, actually, because when they brought up, like when it first started, it had Kelly, right? What would be his victim?
Yes, his final girl.
I thought of, oh man, finally, like another. I always like seeing people from that show just because it's a. I guess I just. Sorry, hold on. I'm in traffic and it's a little fucking crazy right now. Sorry, everybody.
Who was in it from Freaks and Geeks?
Kate Miner. She was. Remember, she played.
Kelly, the girl that played Kelly. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, because she also played James Franco's girlfriend. Can't remember that.
No, that's not her.
Yeah,
that's not her. No,
it's not her.
No.
I'm pretty fucking sure.
That's Busy Phillips. That's Busy Phillips.
My God, they look a lot alike. Then where?
Yeah, I can see that now, but yeah, no, that wasn't her.
I swear to God, I didn't think it was her until she started. Well, I don't know how.
Until she became a bigger part of the movie.
Well, there was one scene in particular, but I'll get to that in a little bit, or I'll let you get to that in a little bit because I know that leads us closer to the end. But I would say when I first saw it, when it first started, I actually was surprised that it started normal and then went to like the mockumentary.
Mhm.
But I think one of the funniest aspects of the movie was the fact that the entire time they were filming, they were not only accessories because of that, but the fact that he kind of got he got them to do some of the scare tactics to
Yeah,
freak Kelly out.
yeah,
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize because the first scene is her at the diner throwing the trash away, and then the door shuts like it's a stereotypical scary movie. And it's not until like 20 minutes into the movie that you find out that that was purposely done by Taylor, the actual reporter herself.
yeah.
But I actually
You're getting
love viewing
really
it. But
robotic.
well, if I'm gonna power through because I don't know what else to do.
There, let me take over for a second. Um, okay, so he tells her he's got his final girl picked out, right? He takes her to see this girl. She's a waitress at a diner. So she comes out and she always puts this brick up against the door to hold it open. She throws the trash away. So he's explaining to her, to the journalist, he's rigged up a string onto the brick so that he's going to have somebody pull it at a certain point. So she goes out to take the trash. He's standing behind a tree. He sticks out a little bit so she notices him, and she does a double take, but he's gone, and she's looking out for him. And then somebody pulls the brick out, so the door slams shut, and then she turns over to the door. Oh no, that's what it is. That she sees him. The door slams shut. She turns around, look at the door, then turns back, and he's gone. So he was like explaining how to set up this horror movie scene. That's another thing I wanted to talk about with this movie is it's not like laugh out loud, ha ha funny, slapstick funny. It's very meta funny. Like it's really only funny if you're into horror movies and like horror movies and stuff because they just riff on that a lot. Like at a certain point, he's just working out and he's just like, it's insane the amount of cardio you have to have in this job because you have to do that thing where you look like you're walking and everybody else is running, and then you got to run when they can't see you and stuff like that. Then also there's a scene when they go to the library to plant something for Kelly to play off of, and they see him and he's like doing parkour and like flipping over the bookshelves and stuff like that because that's how he's sneaking around the library. So how they rip on it, and also like you said, when they dug up Herschel, he's doing this sensory deprivation thing because it's important for people in their business to be able to slow down their heart rate so they can look like they're dead. So it's just ripping on all this stuff. Like this is their job. These are the skills they have to hone in on. And I thought all that stuff was so funny. Now I'm going to point out one scene that I really like because I love that scene when he's putting together the taking out the trash at the diner. Loved it. Then when they go over to Herschel, you know, Herschel as a killer back from the 60s and 70s who's like a mentor to Leslie Vernon. And he's got a young wife, a hot young wife. And he comes in from the deprivation tank after they dig him up, and she's like, "We're going to start as soon as you cut those vegetables and then get the grill going." So he starts chopping the vegetables, and you hear like the click against the cutting board as he's chopping them. But he starts to get upset when he's talking about people who give their people in their business a bad name. And all of a sudden, there's like a machine gun sound on the cutting board, and it goes to it, and the thing is cut into liquid. I mean, it's mush. He cut it so much. Like so, that's a skill that he has. Like what's something along those lines that stuck out to you guys?
I I oh so I
I mean,
really
along those lines, I don't know. I mean, you kind of gave a lot of detail.
There's a lot more.
Um, no, I know. I would say I love when he's actually going through the final explanation of how he's going to set up and complete the master plan. I love
Mm-hmm.
how as he's going through it. See, I feel like my what I want to touch down on, I always feel like it gives away the ending immediately, and I
Okay.
don't like doing that because I feel like it's a huge spoiler alert. But at the same time, I feel like if I don't, you guys are going to touch down on it before I do. But the truth is, I
Well,
loved that whole explanation of how he's going to go through it, what he's going
mm,
to do, when he's going to do it. and yet the entire time, that at no point do they raise an eyebrow about like what their part is in it at all. Like they're just assuming that they're going to be somewhere in the background shooting the entire film and just observing everything.
Hmm.
And not to give anything away because I don't. Oh, well, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. Nice, fucking nice.
All right, sorry, man.
All right,
No,
let
not your fault. Never ended. Live on pod. I gotta go.
Oh wow.
well,
Sorry,
All right,
man.
be
we've
safe.
got the evidence.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
All right. So
Boner kill.
that changes everything. That sucks that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, we can postpone the game. We can postpone the game till next week,
yeah,
obviously, and we'll pick our brackets. We'll pick our brackets next week too. Well, let's finish out the review with just us. We'll see if he wants to have input next time, and then we will move on to something else.
right.
So he's got this journalist. They go to the farmhouse because now his final girl and her group of friends. And he's also gone over how he picked her because it's not just her. It's not just about her. The only thing he points out about the final girl that I remember is she's a virgin. Other than that, she has this group of friends and they all kind of fill a role. So this is the perfect group with her being the final girl. So they get to the farmhouse and he is going over. And I'm sure this is what Casey wanted to touch on how he's setting everything up. He's moving things into position at the house. He's got all the lights and the fuses rigged up on a switch so he can, with a button, turn off the power.
Yeah.
Things like that. So do you want to take it from there? Because there's a twist. There's a twist here. Once the night gets going, I'll go up to this part. They're in the room for the first kill. So he's like, somebody, eventually there's going to be a couple. They're going to come up here and start getting busy in the bedroom. I'm going to let them get into it a little bit, and then I'm going to go make the first kill. So that's happening. They're hiding behind a wall. You hear the noises that you should be hearing, and then he goes out there and you start hearing all the slashes, and that's when they're like, "This is real," Even though they never really expressed concerns throughout, which is the only thing I really had a problem with. But at that point, they're like, "Whoa, this is real, and we're involved now."
Whoa. Um. Hello.
You still there?
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Chris is on
So,
her way home.
like my screen, my the Discord channel, it started to like go beep 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 beep, and then just like closed out my screen completely.
Oh, weird.
We're still live, and like I heard you. Um, I did like how he explained why the weapons never seem to work for the victims because they go in and kind of sabotage them just so they don't get hurt too bad.
Loosen the hammer on the sledgehammer, the
Yeah,
top part, freak out the axe,
and I
the dead
liked
batteries, and all the flashlights.
yeah, all the small details.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny on a meta level if you're into that kind of stuff and you're familiar with all the horror movie cliches and stuff. It's really funny.
Like taking the spark plugs out of the car so it won't start, explaining why the car never seems to start. Um, one of the scenes that uh makes me laugh a lot. It's just a quick thing that really, I mean, it has a big twist and reveals something, but when they're trying to warn the kids and they go upstairs and they see the final girl and what she's doing, and they're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh God, oh!" Like that's always hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. You don't expect it because
No,
you believe what's been laid out, and they
yeah,
believe what's been laid out. So
yeah,
let's get into that. After that first kill, and they're all freaked out, Leslie Vernon takes them outside and is like, "You guys are done. I seen that look on your face. That's like we can't just stand here and let that happen. You guys are done. You're staying out here." At this point, he takes off his mic, and every once in a while in the movie so far, it has gone from documentary to regular style movie briefly. But at this point, it cuts all the documentary and it switches to just a straight movie, right? So he
yeah.
takes off his microphone, and now they have no idea what he's saying or doing. And he's like, "You guys are staying here. I'm going back inside."
Welcome back.
Yes. How'd
Yeah,
everything go?
it was nothing too big. It was nothing too big. A little paint scratch, but I mean, most of it can be buffed out.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Did you guys switch
So
info?
yeah.
Is he like, "I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what
Get out of
happened."
here.
No, he knew what happened. He was an older man. It wasn't like he was young kid or anything. He was like in his late 40s, maybe early 50s.
He's
He,
just like,
Okay.
old age, buddy. You're gonna get to
uh,
it. But
don't know that.
we just got into the end of the movie when it switches from the documentary style into a full cinematic like movie portion.
Oh,
And
okay.
we just brought up the initial twist where they go upstairs and see what the final girl is up to. And
Oh, yeah. That's the moment that I thought it was her. By the way, when I was saying that I thought that was the girl from Freaks and Geeks, because when
yeah.
she came at it as harsh as she did, it reminded me a lot of her. And I know I've seen her in a lot of other stuff, but I'm blanking at where I've seen her at.
Yeah. Don't mess with your phone while driving. Even more than you're already doing.
Hey, yeah, it's kind of hard not to, man.
Okay, let me get back into this real quick. So he leaves them at the van, says, "You guys are done. Don't ruin his night." Oh, also a little thing right before that is how remember he was so happy that he was crying
Yeah.
because the time had
Yeah.
finally come. Like all this work and all this time, and this is his big night. He started weeping, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I'm just so happy." That's it. I loved Leslie Vernon as a character. Oh, okay, so he leaves them at the van. He disappears. So the girl decides, "I'm going inside to warn everybody." So she goes inside to be like, "We have to get out of here right now." And she stops and goes, "Where's Kelly?" The final girl. They're like, "Oh, she's upstairs." So they go upstairs, and yeah, we find out that she is not a virgin and probably hasn't been for a while. So they're like, is he going to be mad? Like, what happens now? Because it kind of changes. They're surprised he doesn't know. You know, they kind of riff on that. So they start to try to get everybody out. Okay, hold on. They start to get everybody out. And do you want to take over, Arlene?
um. So they get out. They get out of the house. They get to the van, and she's like explaining to them that they were there documenting all of it, and Kate is that her? That's her real name. I was just looking her up. She's from Shameless.
Kelly.
You probably know her from Shameless. But
That's right. That's right. She played.
I didn't look up who she played. I just seen what she was in. But
She was having sex with Lip for a little while in the show, I believe.
She's having sex with everybody. But
Oh, that she's Lip's main girl. She's the one that he ends up having a kid with later on in the show. That's why.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I like Shameless. I've seen it all.
they're trying to explain to him that they were a film crew and they knew what was going on. They go to leave, and I'm guessing the spark plugs came from the van. Like he knew they were gonna do it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
everything pretty much starts to play out like he said, but with the film crew instead of the horny teenagers.
yeah. It's
Yes,
like
let me
everything he
let me
said would
interject real quick.
happen did happen, except for minor alterations. But I think the real alteration was when he was describing it to them, not the actual plan, and he had that whole plan set in motion from the beginning. Which I did want to tap down on one thing. When they were up there as he was crying, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I thought of immediately was that she was going to not have Stockholm syndrome and relate to her killer or to the killer, but I thought she was eventually going to be what that one woman was for Eugene. I thought she was gonna fall in love with him.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
it's a possibility they could have went that direction. I don't know how it would have played out though. Like when you find out that the girl he's after is not a virgin, like you think you think he would know something like that, having been stalking her prior to them showing up.
Yeah, because he is supposed to have been doing it forever. So they know the plan. The film crew knows the plan, so they think they're going to be able to get around this. But yes, then the van won't start, and then they end up back in the house. They're trying to reveal what's going on, and the final girl, Kelly, she freaks out. She falls out the window. Right?
She goes to climb out the window on off of the branch, and they're like, "No."
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Uh,
she falls and dies.
yeah,
So now the final girl's dead, and he's building this up as like what this killer wants is for this final girl to make it to the end and possibly beat him. They want that, even though they would rather survive, but that would make him happy as well. But she's dead now. So, in them trying to escape after this, they slowly put together that they are running right into the same plan he described, and we find out then that Taylor, the female journalist, is actually his target and has been his target the whole time. They revealed there that she is a virgin, and she never revealed that to him, but she didn't need to because he already knew. She had this group of people with her, and they played different roles. Like everything he described was all of them, just in a different way. And because they think he's describing somebody else, they don't even think about it at all. But then it becomes obvious that that she has been the target, and he has been getting them ready the entire time,
yeah.
which is great.
it's a really smart, like smart movie. Like when you think about it,
Yeah,
like it was a
and
really
and
well
on a
script.
rewatch because you know what's going to happen. If you can look at all the stuff that they put in there too, that you're like, oh, this is something. This means something. This is something. Really well done.
It sucks that they've
So,
never
does
done
anybody have any
another
complaints?
movie. Yeah, that
Hmm?
there's as yeah. My complaint is there's not a sequel.
There you go. There you go.
there is
None
kind
that
of.
none that I've seen.
What is
I
it?
looked into it. There's actually a prequel. It's
Really?
before the mask.
Really?
Yeah, it came out in 2012.
I have not heard of this, and I would love to check it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen the recommendations anytime I've looked it up.
Yeah, like it didn't even come
It
up on the
just happened.
related movies whenever I looked at that. Whenever I was watching the first one,
Well, it's
that's
okay because
wild.
we are going to review it next week, boys. Because that's my pick. No, I'm just kidding.
um, I'll say my final thoughts. I won't give away the end. But yes, I think it is absolutely brilliant. I love
Oh, yes.
they talk to Herschel and his wife right before they leave to the big night, and yeah, there's just a lot of hi. There's just a lot of meta stuff. He's giving them advice on how to survive, and they're like, and he's telling them just run, don't look back, and he's like, don't hang out with a virgin. If you're in a group of people, make sure somebody's slower than you. Also, something I hadn't picked up on until this point is that his wife says, I was pretty fast, wasn't I, Eugene? And she's like, ah, ha, ha. They laugh about it. So she was one of his final girls or whatever, and they ended up getting married. But that's why she's so much younger than him and stuff, too. So I don't know if you guys picked up on that because I didn't until this watch.
I did, but
That's another reason why I thought
he's
Taylor
like,
was gonna. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say I did catch that, and his response was, "You still caught me, didn't you?" So it's like, are they playing it off like she was a victim, or are they playing it off like she knew he was a killer and she went after him?
See, I don't know. It was a little ambiguous. I agree. I agree. I thought that too. I thought the most obvious thing was that she was one of his victims, but yes, with that wording, it was a little ambiguous. There's a lot of that in there too, for you to kind of be like, what exactly happened there?
Yeah, which you might find out in the prequel.
There you go.
Never know.
It's not on the.
You guys have you have final thoughts, Casey?
Um, I know it sounds kind of stupid, but I actually really, I really wanted Taylor and Leslie to get together. I thought
Yeah,
I thought she was gonna be his Jamie, I believe is her name, right? Eugene.
possibly.
Yeah, Jamie.
Herschel.
I thought she was going to be yeah, to Herschel. I thought she was going to be what Jamie is to Herschel, but for Leslie. I know that sounds stupid to hope for, but I kind of liked it, and I thought it was going to be really sweet. So when I started seeing the things go wrong, and I was like, oh no, I know where it's going. I also want to comment on one thing. Like I know it's so small, but when he was going, when he was going through his plans about how he was gonna kill him and all that, and it panned to like the titties, like her like unzipping the jacket and the titties being pulled out. Was it me or were those fake titties? Like I don't mean like fake titties on a real person, but I mean like a fake torso because it looked like a fake torso.
I don't think so.
If you look closely, it doesn't even look like real skin. It looks like the kind of dolls that they practice like CPR on. And then when he
I don't
touches it, it
know.
just
It just seems like such an unnecessary expense to get
no,
something
I
made
know.
that looks that real, though. You know, when somebody, especially because it was just right here, so nobody had to show their face. Sure, it'd be a lot easier to hire a girl to do that role without having to show her face. You know, so yeah, it'd be way cheaper to hire somebody than to get something designed to look that real. I think.
No, I
I don't
know.
know.
I'm just it's the way it looked. I don't know why, but it just looked so fake.
I didn't
I don't
get
know.
that
That's
at
the
all.
I'll have to
thing.
rewatch that part. I'll rewatch that part just for you to see if I can figure it out.
I don't know why, but it just looked super fake.
Hmm. I thought that the guy that played Leslie Vernon also was a great actor. I'm surprised I haven't seen him in anything else. He might have a career and just does stuff that I don't watch. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I thought
he
he was
has some
fantastic. I thought
movies.
all the acting was good.
I
Are you guys ready to rate it?
if
Because
it,
I'm gonna rate it 4 out of 5 Ionic images.
I'll give it a 4 out of 5. If I'm remembering the weapon right, was that a sickle? Or what was it?
I think it was a scythe. Oh, those are the same thing.
It's similar, but the reason why I said a sickle is because it's a shorthand. It's like
Shorter
a short.
handle.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. 4 out of 5 sickles.
All right.
What about you, brother?
Well, since I haven't seen many other movies in this particular style, I'll go ahead and give it a solid 5 because it was amazing the whole way through.
There you go. And it is. It is amazing.
I don't know if we'll ever find another movie in the vein of that other than the prequel that we didn't know existed, but I don't know if that would be as good, and it would definitely not be an original concept at that point. Whereas when I seen this movie, it felt original, like I didn't see anything like it. So I will give
agree.
it a 5. Are those fake or real titties?
All right. So highly recommended for anybody out there. Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. We touched on a lot, but there's still a lot left, and it's 110% worth the watch. It even gets better on rewatches.
It does.
I could see rewatching that pretty easily. It was pretty comical. Like you said, it was kind of it wasn't like slapstick hilarious, but at the same time, like
It's funny when you
it
know
was
the
just
tropes.
yeah. But it's also just hilarious that you get to see it like from the behind. I just like the idea that it's a behind the scenes murderer.
Yeah.
It's just like murderer mockumentary.
That's it. So yes, definitely check it out. But what's next on the agenda, boys?
Real quick, also, I was gonna say that lady, the librarian. I don't know what you guys talked about
Yes.
while I was gone. I was gonna
Yes,
say
I
I
forgot to
didn't
mention
realize that
that.
the librarian also played in a huge part in all the Poltergeist movies. But
Yes.
her voice is so recognizable
Yes.
that's what I recognized immediately. I was surprised. I was like, "Oh my god, I know this!" But like, I've never been able to see the face, and it was kind of cool to see her play in it. There was a lot of big characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of like horror movie Easter eggs in there for people that
Yeah.
like horror movies. So really good.
Sorry. Anyway,
You've got a game prepared for us. He's off
I do,
punishment.
yes. I do, yes. He's off punishment, and we're going to do this round. Now, Maritza is on her way home, so I might have to cut it short at some point, but I'll let you know. But okay, so we have, again, I think we got 12 questions. And brother, since you won last time, well, it was a tie, but you won. You'll go first. So the first game is called Halloween High Low.
All right.
And that is because I got a list of the top 25 highest grossing horror movies adjusted for inflation. And I picked the movie Halloween off that list. And now I'm going to list other movies, and you have to tell me if that ranks higher or lower on the list. Now, higher is going to be number 1's the highest, number 25 is the lowest. So it's moving opposite because
Yeah.
you say higher, the ranking goes down, obviously. Okay. So number 1. Okay, so Halloween is the benchmark, the original Halloween. We got The Others.
by ranking, you mean like star ratings?
No, this is top 25 highest grossing. So just the amount of money they made.
Oh,
You don't have to guess
grossing.
the amount of money. You just have to guess
Okay.
if The Others made more or less money.
Adjusted
Okay.
for inflation, I would say the others is lower. I would say Halloween made more money if you bring it up to today's money.
The Others is lower.
Okay.
That's 1 point for you. All right, Casey, Get Out.
Yeah. Get right the fuck out.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Peace out.
Are you familiar with the movie?
No, I'm not. So I'm just gonna randomly say, adjusting for inflation, I'm also going to say Halloween was higher.
Okay, and
Or
I
that
would have.
is wrong. Get out is higher.
what was Get Out?
I don't want to tell you the rankings because I might use some of these later.
No, no, no,
But
no,
I
no,
don't.
no, no. The movie, the movie. I said, what was the
Oh, it's
movie?
the Jordan Peele movie, his first horror movie.
Oh, man, that made more than Halloween.
Mhm.
Damn. I'm not gonna
Just,
lie.
I
That
mean,
had,
even think about it, how recent it is, and it's on the top 25.
that's
Okay, next one. Scream 2, brother.
This one's a tough one because the first Scream was a massive hit,
Mhm.
so it had all of the hype behind it. Uh, Now, are we adjusting all of the movies to today's money?
Yes, that's the way the list was.
Okay, I would say Scream 2 pulled in more money then.
That is correct.
Just
Now you
because
got two.
it had a lot of hype behind it from the success of the 1st
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, right. All right, so next one, Casey, the Blair Witch Project.
Ooh, good movie.
there was also a lot of hype around that movie.
There was.
Oh man, I'm probably gonna get it wrong, but I want to say Blair Witch. Well, see, that's the thing is like at the time, like when you say highest grossing, are you including like
I'm pretty sure it's
DVD sales?
worldwide box office. I'm pretty sure. You had a 50-50 shot.
I want to say Blair Witch. I want to say it made more, but I know I'm gonna get it wrong. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say it made more. I'm
It
just
did
gonna.
make more. It did make more. If you got that point, and I actually really don't like that movie, so I'm going to tell you where it ranks on the list because I think it's ridiculous. Number 3, the
Number
third
three?
highest grossing horror movie of all time, The
Holy
Blair Witch
shit.
Project. Terrible
I
movie.
mean, there
I did
was a
not like
lot
it.
of hype, man. I
There
mean, there
was
was more
so
hype
much hype.
for that
Great
movie
marketing
than.
campaign. Great
Yeah,
marketing campaign. All right, brother. Freddy versus Jason.
Ooh.
man. The fact that that made the list is fucking surprising.
I am gonna go with my answer based upon my personal experience of seeing it in theater. I was
Mm-hmm.
literally the only person in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say it's lower.
It is lower. All right, Casey, I know what you did last summer.
That- You know what though? I don't know. That was a good one,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been a lot of spoofs based off of it. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, Freddie
I'm
Prinze
gonna go
Jr.
with I'm I'm gonna go with. I want to go higher, but mm,
Time is of the essence.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with lower.
You are correct. It was lower.
Yes.
All right, brother. The Conjuring.
I would say higher just because I know it also had a lot of hype.
It did. I love that movie, and I think that it brought like the last phase of horror movies, I think it like brought horror back. I think it was a little dormant for a while on and all on in general before that. I think it brought it back. Unfortunately, though, it was a little lower, so you got that one wrong. Last one in this category, Casey, The Haunting.
Oh man, I love The Haunting. Oh,
Is that the one with Mila Djokovic or the one with Tom Cruise's
I
ex?
I
don't
should say.
know.
I love what The Haunting inspired because I like their TV shows that it inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. But as far as it's the first one,
Yes.
I want to say lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
It was a little bit higher, actually.
Damn. All
So we're
right.
gonna move
He
on to the
wins.
second round with the score so far: Arlie 2, Casey. I'm sorry, Arlie 3, Casey 2. These ones will
Yeah.
be worth 2 points each. All right. So in 2004, some horror movies came out. I'm gonna list you 2 horror movies, Arlie, and you're gonna tell me which one made more.
Okay.
Dawn of the Dead or Exorcist: The Beginning.
I would say Dawn of the Dead because I remember a lot more commercials about
Dawn
it.
of the Dead is correct. 103 million versus 44 million.
I was gonna say I didn't even know the other one came out.
I'm pretty sure we saw Exorcist: The Beginning in theaters together.
Wait, is that the one with Deb from Dexter?
No. That's the haunting of Emily or possession of Emily
Oh,
Rose or
okay.
whatever.
All
But
right.
I'm pretty sure we saw Exorcist: The Beginning in theaters in 2004. All right, Casey, The Seed of Chucky or The Grudge?
Oh. Which one made more?
Yeah,
Shit. I mean, I'm going with The Grudge.
correct. Grudge made 187 and Seed of Chucky made 25.
Ooh.
Brother, Open Water or Resident Evil Apocalypse?
I would go with Resident Evil.
Yeah, the
Over.
name alone. I was like,
It was a pretty big franchise. Yes, you're correct. 125 million versus 56 million. All right. So right now we're at
name
a
alone.
7-4. Should we give him a 4-point question?
And if you want,
How is he so far ahead of me? I've answered every question correct so far.
No, you haven't.
In this round.
In this round, yes, you are down 1 point. Going into this round, and if you were to get this 2-point question right, you'd be 1 point behind him still. So if I give you a 4-point question, that means you can win. A 3-point question, you can tie.
Oh, was this it? Was this the last round?
This is the last question. We'll do it. It's
No,
worth
it's
4
the
points.
last.
For this one, there was no more horror movies in 2004 that made anything, so I went to 2005 for this one. The Ring 2 or the Amityville Horror remake?
I
With
would
Ryan Reynolds.
probably say, based on the first one, there was more hype. I would assume that the Ring 2 would make more. But
You think
knowing
so?
me, I'm probably wrong. So
I don't know. Is that your final
I'm
answer?
going the Ring 2. Don't think the remake would have made as much, but I could be wrong. But I
had
think there was
Ryan
more hype
Reynolds.
with the Ring 2.
The remake had Ryan Reynolds, didn't it?
It did, and I loved the Amityville Horror remake. It was so good.
But he wasn't like the
Um,
Ryan Reynolds of like today. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He was like at the
Probably
beginning
wrong.
stages.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm probably wrong. It's okay.
All right. The Ring 2 made 162 million. Amityville Horror made 109 million. So you're right.
Oh shit!
You won.
Oh my god! I never thought I'd win. Okay.
You
Fuck
get to be
this.
a
All right, I'm back.
So you get to say
All
bye,
right.
brother, at the end. But I'm probably not going to make it to the end. So you guys are
My
going to have to say
tantrum's
bye,
over.
brother, without me.
My tantrum's over.
Is that why you dropped out?
Yeah. Oh, you
I put
dropped
this
out
on
too.
the-
Okay.
If you
Oh yes, I am going to
this
have to
much of a
go.
problem.
But do you guys want to add to the bracket before I go?
Yeah. I I will add on.
I can say what we have so far. Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Scream, Saw, Friday the 13th, and Hellraiser.
I have
I
one I want to add
go
that I
for it.
think finally fits it. Insidious. It's got more of a run to
Oh,
it too.
that is a great series. Okay, that's on the board. Arlie?
Nice.
I don't know if you would technically consider all of them horror because they kind of transitioned out of it as they went along. But the Alien franchise, it started off as horror.
It did.
A
Yeah, we can count
monster in
that.
space.
We can count that.
I was thinking that, or I was thinking Critters. But again, like
So
I didn't know if we would really technically consider Critters a horror movie, as much as it's just like a sci-fi,
uh,
a
I
sci-fi
kind of think
thriller.
so.
I mean, that's
I
kind of
kind
how
of
I
think
feel
so.
about Alien, though, too. I do feel like it's more of a sci-fi than horror.
Alien. I mean, it's but
Personally,
they're
I
running after
think.
monsters, and there's definitely elements of horror in it.
The
No,
first
I'll
one
give
was
that.
more horror based, but I'm saying like as it went along, it transitioned kind of just out of
Yes.
horror into more
Yes.
just sci-fi action.
Well, I'll let Pat decide. I figure he's the horror buff. So
I agree that you can consider that horror,
I'd go with Alien.
and I haven't seen all the Alien movies, but I mean, are you considering Prometheus in that as well?
here,
It,
let me see here. Alien.
it is. I mean, Prometheus is not necessary. I would never consider that horror. Like nothing
Mm,
about it ever feels like horror, but that could be just because you're used to the aliens at this point. So
that's true.
it's not scary.
Mm,
But like I
Here,
would
I'm
consider
picking.
everything about it, even the crossover, the Alien versus Predator, even though it doesn't really feel like horror. Like if
yeah.
there
Okay.
if
That's cool. I will put that on because I agree. Alien franchise.
Ah, it's the first one is literally classified as horror first, sci-fi second.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that the Terminator is a lot like that too. The first movie has a lot of more horror movie elements than they do after that. More action after that, but the first one has a big slasher vibe. Cool.
the T-1000 as a little kid scared the shit out of me.
I can see that. Yeah.
I mean,
I am going
if you
to
want to say,
add one to the list that we've
the
already
second
touched
one
on, and
could
that's
be almost like a body snatchers kind of. You think about it, because he can
mhm,
impersonate everybody, and he
yeah,
usually kills them to do so. So it's almost like like an invasion of the body snatchers. So the second
yeah,
one, I would also say is horror.
yeah. I can definitely see that. Yeah, for sure. After that, they definitely don't get as much horror, but the first two, I
Yeah.
can see that for sure. But since we've already touched on one of these movies of this series, but I'm going to put the Wrong Turn series on there because I really like it. So Wrong Turn. All right, and then also Casey, what is going to be the next retro movie review that we do?
Well, I feel like you guys were given too much. I think as much as I know, we've talked about it, and it's like everybody assumes that my pick is going to be Scary Movie 2. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to go on a left turn.
With what?
I said I want to kind of take a left turn.
Okay.
I think Shaun of the Dead, while it is slapsticky, I do think that there is more horror infused.
Hmm.
So I'll go Shaun of the Dead.
That's a great movie. Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's been a minute since I watched that, so it'd be fun to watch that
Yeah,
again anyway.
same
She's
here.
like butter.
Did one of you have a would you rather, or do you want me to close it down with one?
I didn't
You
know
go
if we
for
were
it.
going
I don't have
to.
one.
I don't know how quick you need to go. Like if you need to get off like right now.
I need to go pretty quick.
All right. I'll save the perfect album stuff for the next time. So the would you rather I thought of, it's
Took my
tame.
dad's penis.
It's tame compared to others. But would you rather everything you eat is always extremely, extremely spicy to the levels of where you don't necessarily enjoy the heat, but it's not hot enough to like keep you from
Hospital.
eating? And that's how your food is always going to taste, regardless of whatever it is? Or would you rather whatever you drink tastes like the worst thing you've ever drank? So, like, if you didn't like, like beer, like,
Coconut water.
yeah, like if you didn't like coconut water, it's going to taste like the
Oh.
worst coconut water. And it's every time you take a drink, you just have that. So it's either the worst tasting drink or always extremely spicy to where you don't enjoy it, but it doesn't put you in the hospital.
My Lord.
I
Did
know
your
my
thirst still get quenched?
Yeah.
I kind of think you could get used to that after a while. Or is in this scenario, you're psychologically like every time it's just as bad as the last time? Or do you think
It,
theoretically you could get used to it? What do you think, Casey?
I mean, with what he's saying, the fact that it always reminds you of the worst thing you tasted, it would have to be something that you constantly experience.
Yeah.
So either or, they're both unsatisfying. But I would imagine, yeah, that no matter what, you don't get used to it. Either or, you don't get used to it at all.
Oh, it's
Just
a hard choice though, because I'd rather enjoy my food, but sometimes you're thirsty. You need to take that big drink, to quench that thirst. I mean, yeah, that thick coconut water running down the back the whole time. I don't know. That's a hard choice.
for me, it would taste like tomato juice.
oh yeah,
See,
It,
I like tomato juice, but even the thought of drinking tomato juice for every drink,
that's what
terrible.
I'm thinking. That would suck.
it's just whatever the worst thing to you is. So for me,
Hold on.
it would be tomato juice. Like, I would never
Did you
enjoy
say
it.
the spice overpowers the original flavor,
All
or does it
all
just?
you taste is the spice. Like it's to the
And you said you
level.
don't enjoy it.
It's to the level where you don't go to the hospital, but also to the level where that's all you just.
Does it mess up your stomach like normal?
No, you don't get any of that.
Theoretically?
You don't get any of that. It's just you don't get to taste anything but just
Okay.
like unpleasure, like spicy heat, to where you're not,
Okay,
to where it's like I don't enjoy this.
I have a follow-up question then, and only one. I have one more follow-up question, and then I'll answer. Do smoothies count as drinks or food?
Drinks because you're drinking it. You're not chewing it.
Okay. In that case,
That means your
everything
that means your
is a little spicy.
your $8 Dutch Brothers is gonna taste like whatever the worst thing to you is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Casey. I'm gonna have to go everything spicy. So maybe if everything tastes the same, and I guess I can just, I can eat healthier theoretically, and then I can enjoy some smoothies and some milkshakes.
thing, and I was like, I could get smoothies in when I really want like my appetite
Yeah, like
quenched.
something thick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like thinking, I was like, if I got desperate enough, would I liquefy a cheeseburger just to be able to enjoy
Would that work, Harley? Can you liquefy solids in it and it doesn't taste spicy?
He followed up. I asked him if anything that was a smoothie would be considered a drink or a food.
Okay, and he said you drink it, so
Yeah.
Smoothies are
mm,
generally fruit. A
Yeah, he didn't.
cheeseburger would be food. Doesn't matter how much you liquefy it. That's still food.
That's not what you said. I asked the follow up.
yeah, I'm still gonna
Uh,
have to go. I'm still gonna have to go spicy food.
Yeah.
I'd go
Because I look
spicy
at it like
too.
this, like, it would make it where you wouldn't want to eat a whole lot
There you go.
and
That too.
drink whatever you wanted. So, like you said, the health aspect, it, like the fact, I mean, it would suck, but then I would start shedding the pounds, and then I'd probably be like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking cool, actually." Like,
Yeah.
I'd probably be really happy about it in the long run. In the long run, in the now, that would suck dick, a lot of
Yeah.
dick.
Like
Yeah.
for me, it's just a factor of I drink more throughout the day than I eat. I generally like eat, the one meal while I'm at work and then dinner whenever dinner's here. So it's like 2 meals a day. Whereas like I'm constantly drinking all
Yeah.
day.
That thought crossed my mind as well.
I was like, I'd rather the food be spicy. Even though I like spicy, it would be to a level where I don't enjoy it.
Where you are uncomfortable.
Where I'm just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not hungry. But yeah, I mean it's not my normal would you rather, but it's one of the ones where it's like makes you really think like which would I rather deal with.
Yeah, it still gets you. It still gets you thinking.
Yeah, it's a good debate because some people would rather be like, "Oh, well, I don't drink that much anyway." Like there are some people who literally drink like maybe 16 ounces of liquid a day.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of people I talk to that are like, "Oh yeah, I don't drink enough water. I have to force water in me." And I'm like, "Well, then you probably would suck up tasting coconut water
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
twice
coconut
a
water.
day."
What a coincidence, though, that Casey is a brother this weekend, and we all aligned on this. Would you rather? We are all synergetic right now.
I think
Well,
it's because he got hit by that old man.
Yeah. Casey got rear-ended while we were doing the podcast.
Live.
yeah,
um,
it's fun.
but all right,
Oh yeah,
I do have to go. So, are you guys going to continue? Or are we ending this now?
just
Oh,
so the viewers can get a good view.
There it is.
That's,
You got
that's
hit.
what happened.
you
That
can't
is all what happened.
you can't really take this to court as evidence either because they'll be like, you were driving, broadcasting
Yeah, I
yourself
know.
live.
It's all right. And honestly, like most of that damage, most of the damage that you saw, like the dent in the actual fender itself, was already there. So
Oh,
mainly
and
just
one,
paint.
yeah, and he's a brother this week.
Uh,
Oh, good. So I'm
unfortunately,
glad it wasn't worse.
it only took you getting rear-ended.
It shook
Eh,
something loose,
easier.
and you made that last guess, and you were right.
I know. I thought I was gonna be wrong. The way
Yep.
you almost had me second
I
guessing.
should have Flanagan him. I should have Flanagan him and just told him he was wrong.
If it was
No,
up,
I'm glad you won. I'm definitely bringing a game next week to try to beat you out, though.
we're gonna beat you
But
off of
I'm
the
glad
game.
you're here. Welcome, congratulations.
Thank you.
Finally,
Thank you.
it only took 8 episodes for you to be able to join in on the sign-off.
I thought it would be longer. But let's see how long you can keep it up for.
Probably not. Not at all.
We'll see.
There's not
We'll see.
any sharks in my future.
We'll find out.
Keep making it this season, sure, but it
Yeah,
was
we'll see.
easier
We'll
this
see.
week.
It was just guessing. You're just a guessing game. I mean, yeah, there was some common sense, or just think about, I've heard the hype around this, and yeah, you guys were right. The hype from Scream made Scream 2 make more money than Scream because everybody was so pumped about Scream. More people went and saw Scream 2. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it works. All right, so we're wrapping it up.
Do you want to kick off the wrap off this week since you became an honorary brother?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to drop the ball.
You
I
don't
want
want
to go out on a high.
you don't want to get used to it, so that way next week if you gets taken away, you're not sitting there like, oh, I wish I was closing.
No,
Or you're gonna say it, you just don't want to go first.
oh, basically, sure.
Huh?
He said basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a basic.
All right. Okay, well, until next time, it has been Welcome to Pod Time, bitch. Bye, brother.
Bye, brother.
Casey became a brother.